Welcome to Woods' Crazy Garage, where we're here to just have some fun, fix some things, break some things, and have fun overall. Alright, this is future Woods' Garage. We did a repair job on a 1999 Ford Expedition. Had a spark plug blowout. The Triton engines are pretty known for that. So they actually have this nice kit that you can get from Calvan Tools. Part number 38900. It's for the Ford Triton insert installer. You can pick these up online. It comes with pretty much everything you need. The only things that you will need to get is the Loctite and the JB Weld. It does come with the spark plug inserts, and it also comes with a guide tool and the reamer and then thread. It also comes with this. What this does is it helps you put it down in the cylinder, add some compressed air to it, and what it does is as you turn the motor over slowly, this will blow out, and that tells you both the intake and exhaust valve are closed. So that way you can go ahead and drill and ream in there without the possibility of hitting one of your valves. Also comes with this little C-clip here that goes on here. That'll set your depth. So you put this on, make sure you don't over drill the hole too deep and accidentally hit a piston or something. And you also want to make sure that it is at the bottom of the stroke before you drill this out and do anything. So I just redid this video because I didn't like how the first one came out, so redid it. I'll be inserting this into the video, and unfortunately I was learning at the time of doing video, so you'll see some funny angles and whatnot. So hopefully future videos going forward will slowly get better as I do this more. As you can see here, this is the plug I actually pulled out yesterday, and you can see the old insert that is on it that came out when I pulled the spark plug out. Normally, well, this is what the spark plug normally looks like, but this is actually the spark plug that blew out of the number 3 cylinder the other day that I actually fixed. This is kind of what happens when they do blow out. You can see that it literally shot the spark plug up through the coil, split the coil in half. Sometimes it does break this tab off, but in my case it didn't break the tab off. So that's why I ended up fixing it, and then I was like, well, I'm already in here, so I'm going to go ahead and change all my plugs, and this is what happens when the insert comes out. More damage. Some other tools you'll need: spark plug, removal air ratchet. I've already used the 7mm to remove this bolt out from holding the coil pack in. I already, like I said, I've been working on this since yesterday. I didn't do much. I let the other plug set yesterday because it's best to let them set for 24 hours to let the JB Weld and everything to cure up. So you can see I've actually taken everything off the motor already. Disconnected the fuel injectors and all the wiring so I can get down to the plug hole. I had to remove these heater hoses to get back to the further ones to make it easy to get in there and work on it. So you can see some of that. I've also disconnected some of the stuff on this side of the engine to get to the coils on this side. I've already changed the plugs out on that side. I just got to put the coils back in, remove this bracket here for the power steering pump to give better access in there to get to everything. Also remove the air cleaner and everything off of the engine to make it more accessible. As you can see here, got new spark plug. You're also going to want to use some anti-seize on the spark plug when you put it into the insert. That's just to help later on when you go to remove the spark plugs. If you ever have to, it'll hopefully make it easier to remove those.
All right.
So here we are. I'm going to show you guys kind of what I do to set this thing up. Go ahead and have your spark plug. Go ahead and check your gap. You want it to be, everybody has different things, but it's 0.052 to 0.056 is kind of what I've read. So kind of went in the middle to 0.054 roughly. You can see there is my spark plug gap. So what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and put a little bit of anti-seize on this, and hopefully I'm getting this in the camera a little bit. So we'll go ahead and just run a little anti-seize around here, get that down in there. And then go ahead and what I'll do is go ahead and insert that in to my spark plug and then socket, and then I'll go ahead and screw the insert down. Now this is how, when you go to install it, how you want it set up, because the spark plug is actually the install tool for this. So you're going to go ahead and just tighten it on down like that. That's what it's going to look like here. Get a better picture of that. And you can actually see here, I'll get the older one. So you can actually see the difference in between the old one and the new one, just how much more beefier the new one is versus the old one. Once you get all that done, what I do is I'll go ahead and set this off to the side now because it's done, it's ready to go, and then we'll get ready for the next step.
All right,
we're going to go ahead and start getting some of this stuff ready now. We're going to go ahead and get the reamer out here. We're going to go ahead and put the clamp, the C-clamp on that, which is, it's kind of hard. You just kind of push it on there. You got the tool. This is going to go down inside the spark plug hole, and this part here, the flat part, I put against the valve covers, and then basically this is just going to go down inside, and you're going to put a socket here on the end of this. It actually, mine takes a 13 millimeter, and you're going to spin that, and you'll see once I put it down into the engine that it'll actually set above the cylinder about that far, and then you're gonna drill this out. The guy on the video that I watched, he didn't use any lubricants or anything like that on it. He just used air to blow all the shavings and everything out. And with doing the other spark plug yesterday, I had no issue on getting the shavings and everything out of the engine. You can actually see here, I actually just took one of my air hoses attachments and put a nice bend to it, and I can get down into the cylinder hole very nice with it, and it works great. So, you know, kind of do what you need to do to get it down in there. I do have this ready to go, so that's going to be the next part of the video, is I'm going to show doing this step, turning the motor over, and actually you'll see this blow out of the engine, and then you'll know the valves are shut. One other thing I didn't really say earlier is it's nice if you have a bore scope to be able to look down in the engine. This is the borescope I have. You know, it's just a Harbor Freight one. If you got a better one, great. This is what I have. Used it yesterday and it worked great for what I needed to do, and I'll show you that today as well when I get to that point. Alright, I got the borescope set up. It's kind of hard to get everything positioned here to do this, but you can see there's a shiny spot there on top of the cylinder. That's kind of shiny. So now I'm gonna rotate my engine over here, get my socket down in here, and you'll actually see that start dropping out of the screen, and that's what you want. So once you get it down near the bottom, then we'll go to the next step and actually put the air line hook up to it to check when the intake and the exhaust valve are closed, and you'll see that actually blow out. Also, one of the things I wanted to point out is here you can actually see that's the top of the cylinder head there, and this right here is actually one of the intakes that are opening. So this is why it's key to make sure that the both intake and the exhaust valve are closed when you drill in there, because you don't want to hit that while you're drilling. And that's one of the key reasons for the blowout tool, to make sure those are closed. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and insert this guy down into the cylinder here, and I'm going to take it down, get it in there nice and firm. Then you're going to go ahead and crack this open. You can hear the air rushing into the engine. And now I'm going to take this over. And there, you actually saw where you could see that blowout, and that means now your intake and your exhaust are now closed. Alright, now that we've done the cylinder leak down tester, I'm going to put this down in here where you can actually see what's going on here. And you can see there's still threads in there. That's where the old insert was. You can see the cylinder is way down at its bottom stroke. You also don't see, when I put this in here, you don't see any of the valves coming into view of the camera, and that's what you want, so you know everything is closed. And you can see the cylinders all the way down at the downstroke is where you want it. All right, now it's time for, I don't know, to me it was the scariest part, drilling into your motor. So here is your insert that you first want to put in there. So we're going to drop that down in there, and I'll move the camera around here in a minute so you can actually see what it looks like when it's down in there. And there she is down in there. You can see it's against the valve cover in there, and you can tell this motor has some miles on her and hasn't been treated the nicest, but it runs, and that's all I really look for out of this truck these days. You can see I actually put a new coil pack in here already. Got the rear coil pack already in, just gotta finish up these two sides here. Then this is the one back in here that I did yesterday, so that's why that coil pack's not in, because I'm still kind of letting that JB Weld and Loctite and everything set up. So Next thing you're gonna do is, you install the C-clip onto the reamer here. You got the reamer, and you're just gonna drop that right down into the hole there, and it's down in there. Everything is good. You can actually see, hopefully, how far away that C-clip is away in there. So when I do start to ream in there, that's actually going to go all the way down and bottom out, so you can see that. All right, we got everything set up. Got the socket on the air ratchet, and we're gonna go ahead and put that down in there like so, and we're gonna start reaming out the That is it. As you can see, hopefully, that C-clamp is all the way down on the insert. So now the hole is fully reamed out. And now I'll take this all out, and you'll have shavings down in there and whatnot, and we'll have to clean those out, and I'll show you how to do that next. Alright, so now I've removed the reaming tool, and you can actually see the aluminum shavings that are around there. You can actually see it builds a little bit of a lip there, so when you put the insert in for the tap and everything, it'll actually stop on that lip, not go all the way down in there. You can see down inside, this isn't nearly as many shavings as I had yesterday in there, and I think part of that's because this hole has been already fixed once, so the tap also went in, the reamer went in a little easier than it did yesterday as well. So you can see some of that. So now I'm gonna blow that all out, get that cleaned up, and get it ready to be tapped. All right, now I'm gonna get ready to blow this out, and you can see I can stick this so you can feel it when it goes in. It'll stop right there at the top of your spark plug, and you can actually feel the groove of the shelf that the reamer put in there, and then that's all the way down to the cylinder right there. So you can feel all that and everything. Best to wear safety glasses when doing this, because it will blow pieces of aluminum out. And here we go. So I blew it out a little bit there. Yesterday there for sure was a lot more aluminum chunks that came out. All right, now that the air compressor is kicked off, we'll go ahead and blow this out a little bit more. Get some more chunks out of there. You can actually see back in there is aluminum chunks. You can actually see back in there there's some aluminum chunks that actually blew out. I don't know how much the camera actually picked up blowing it out of here. Alright, now we're going to run this back down in there to check out everything. You can see that lip a lot better now that I blew everything out of there. And we're going to run it down in here until the cylinder. And you just want to check. You can actually see there's still a couple little pieces of aluminum in there, so we're going to have to blow it out again, get those cleaned out of there, and then we'll tap it. Alright, what we did here is I went ahead and got the tap ready. In the instructions it states to go ahead and put the insert on first, because this tap will not slide through here. So you go ahead and put the insert down on here through this way, and then you go ahead and insert your C-clamp, and that'll hold it all together. One of the things you'll see is when I do start running this down in is I'll run, you know, a couple threads in, back it out, run a couple threads in more, and just keep on doing that until eventually this will actually go out down and bottom out on that shelf that's down there on the bottom of the cylinder, which is going to stop everything. And then once I get it down there, then we'll back it out, run it in a couple more times, just make sure all the threads are nice and cleaned out, and then we'll blow out all the shavings after that. So we'll go ahead and make sure everything's aligned, drop that down in there, and I'll show you guys here in a minute, once I get it down in there, what it's going to look like. So now that I got it all down in there, you can actually see it there. It's sitting there. You can see the C-clamp is actually pretty high up from the insert. Right there, you can actually feel it starting to lock in to that hole that we just reamed in there. So now we'll go ahead and hook up all the air stuff and start that, which you won't be able to hear much because that's pretty loud. Alright, now that the air compressor is cut off, I ran it down, it actually stopped, so I stopped the video and now I'm restarting it again just so you can see it run down, stop when it hits that shelf in there and everything. So that's it right there. That's where it's bottomed out and it's hit that shelf in there. I'll go ahead and move this out of the way here. You can actually see here that the C-clamp is actually still up there near the top. It doesn't bottom out on the C-clamp, so it actually just goes down, and the threading bit will actually just bottom out on that shelf to where you can't go down anymore, and you don't want to force it because then you'll break that shelf. So got to be kind of mindful of that. Alright, we went ahead and removed the tools and everything out of there. Now I'm running the borescope down in there so you guys can see what it looks like. You can see the threads that it cut in there. Get a better picture of it here. Right there you can see the threads in there, hopefully, that it cut, and then you can see the shavings and that little lip there at the bottom that it bottoms out on, and there's a lot of shavings on that. So now we'll go ahead and blow that out, clean it up, and check everything out here after we do that. Alright, now we're going to put this down in there and we're going to blow her out. Make sure again, wear safety glasses while doing this because you'll blow chunks out. Alright, now that we've blown everything out, now we're going to go ahead and run the bore scoop down in there. You can see how it's cleaned everything out by blowing everything out of there. You can see the threads that it put into the wall of the cylinder there. So you want to make sure you got some nice good threads in there. Stick it on down in there. Make sure that there's nothing on top of the cylinder and everything is nice and clean and you don't have any chunks in there or whatnot. So now we're all clean. Now I'm going to go ahead and probably take a rag, stick it on a extension, go down in there and just wipe any oil residue and whatnot away from where the JB Weld will be interconnecting with the head and locking all that down. Alright, we're going to go ahead. This is what I use. A little rag, electrical tape around it. Stick it down in there. Give it a good couple of turns in there. Get everything nice and clean. Get her down in there. Make sure it bottoms out. Gets in there. Cleans that ledge real good. You want to make sure that ledge is good and clean so that way when you do go ahead and put that JB Weld down in there that it is nice and clean. And as you can see, that one in red comes out nice and dirty, and that's what you want. Alright, next thing we want to do now that we got the hole tapped out, ready to go, it's ready to receive the insert with the spark plug now. That's all cleaned out. I cleaned out the hole real good with a rag, make sure you get all the oil and crud out of there. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply JB Weld around this hat piece here, or the lip, and this is what's going to go down and press against the cylinder head. This is what's going to go down in there and actually it'll stop when it hits the little lip in there and won't allow the insert to go further into the head. I don't have this all the way tightened. The spark plug is a little bit out right now, just so it doesn't fall out on my tool here, but once it goes down, everything will tighten up together, and you'll see that here in a minute. Alright, what I'm doing here is going ahead and getting the JB Weld together. This is high temperature, high PSI JB Weld. It does come with the kit when you order it online, and I'll put a link to that down in the YouTube video that I'm going to do. And don't hate me, this is the first time I've ever done a YouTube video like this, but you're going to go ahead and mix this up real good. You want it to be a nice gray color before you apply it. You also want to make sure that you got your thread Loctite out and ready to go, because you want to do this all in one shot. So get this mixed up a little bit more here. And now we're going to go ahead and we'll get that applied in here and try to get a video of that so you can see how I did it. Just get it in there, just run it around like that. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and go around and kind of clean up the excess that I put on the outside of this thing here. And we'll get that all done up nice. Alright, once we got that done, we'll go ahead and clean the edge of this up a little bit. It's not so gooed out. Alright, now I got that nice and clean. We'll get this down a little bit. And hopefully I'm getting this in the video. It's kind of hard to look and do two things at once. Alright, got that done there. Go ahead and make sure you clean that screwdriver up that you use to mix that stuff up. Otherwise you won't have a good screwdriver afterwards. Alright, we'll get that out of our way. Now we'll go ahead and get the Loctite out here. The kit that I ordered online did come with this Loctite. It's Seal-Tite 266. I think they said some kits also come with like 270, somewhere in there. Basically it's just the highest Loctite I believe you can get. We'll go ahead and get this dabbed around here. And hopefully you can see that. It's actually Loctite and not my blood from my hand, which, you know, I like to do sometimes. When working on cars, you smash those hands. So, there we go. We're all ready to go, and now we're going to go ahead and install it. Alright, got everything set up. Got this all ready to go. Put an extension on there. Got my torque wrench ready to go. It's set at 17 foot-pounds. That's what I've read that everybody's setting these to. So it's set at 17. There's a lot of different things out there on the web on what the torque should be. I'm trying it at 17. If it blows out, I'll let you guys know in this video, I guess, down in the comments. But that seems to be what everybody's doing. So we'll go ahead and you can see we're putting this down in there, and you can actually feel it start to bite. So I'm just going to hand do it for right now. Put this little guy on there, and we'll get her locked down in there. There it goes. It's starting to stop, and everything feels like it's starting to tighten up. Now we put the camera over here, and we'll go ahead and give her one more turn. Take this out here. We'll go ahead and put the torque wrench on her and wait for the click. there she is. We're at 17. You can hear that torque wrench clicking, so you know she's there. We'll pull this out, and hopefully, you know, you don't want the spark plug and everything to come out with it, which we're clean, so everything's down in there, down in the hole. I'll run the bore scope down in there. We'll check everything out, but everything tightened up nice. 17 foot-pounds. And now basically I'm probably going to go ahead and throw my other ignition coils on, and this is going to have to set overnight, let it finish drying and setting up that JB Weld and everything. So we'll come back to you in a minute. Alright, we got it. Ran down in there. Oh, hit the wrong button here. Let's turn this back on. As you can see, we'll get this down in there. You can see the spark plug is there, and I don't know how good in this video it can actually pick it up, but you can actually see past the spark plug there's a little JB Weld that came out around that little hat, which I don't know, I imagine that's pretty good. It looks like it's not on the spark plug itself, so we should be good there. And once again, everything's in there. We're just going to let it dry up, and I'll probably end up putting the rest of the coils on tonight, getting that all set up and ready to run tomorrow. Once again, it's the Calvan Tools, part number 38900. It's for Ford Tritons. Pretty sad that they actually built a toolkit for these engines because these plugs blow out, but they just don't put enough threads in there and whatnot. And I actually got this from wiseautotools.com. I'll put their website link in the thing. Has nice instructions. There's a video link that you can go watch, and I'll also put that in the instructions. But you know, it's a nice kit. As you can now see, I have two missing, but I can actually do them all if I wanted to, but I think I'm just going to do them as they blow out, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching, and I hope y'all have a good day.